Hello, and welcome to episode 221 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach,
And I'm Jeff.
and we're a source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers and talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular the online client MTG Arena.
That's right, and well, Jeff, this is one of our favorite episodes where we dive into the new set, Lorwyn Eclipsed. We talk about it, and we considered it to be on draft. Get it? On draft, like it's our draft set, and it's like we're drinking beer on draft.
Wow,
Yeah.
221 episodes, I never put that together. Wow.
Yeah,
That's really clever.
Jeff, I feel like we don't explain our jokes enough. We probably should explain our jokes
They're
more.
always funnier after you explain them.
They are actually.
Now that we're both dads, we feel totally comfortable doing it.
It's necessary instead of trying to be subtle with everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap?
Hoo boy, Zach, it's been a while since I've had the style that we will be enjoying today. But once upon a time, I would have told you this is my favorite style of beer.
Yeah, I remember that time.
And this is an Imperial Stout. It is the Walkerville Imperial Stout. It says right on it, extra strong beer. And it's 9.5%. It does say multi-award winnings. Imperial Stout, big, bold beer with dark roast character, complemented by a smooth, full finish, hint of chocolate and dark fruits. That's what you're supposed to taste. Zach, this really takes me back, because we used to do more of these than we do now. And
Yes.
the thing that I always used to say is that if you're going to call yourself an Imperial Stout, the first sip must punch you in the mouth. And that's how it's supposed to work. It's like, whoa, that's too much for my senses, boom, and then it kind of opens things up and becomes delicious. So if this doesn't punch me in the mouth, I'm going to question all of these awards that it was
Yeah,
given.
are gonna. If it doesn't punch you in the mouth, is it just bronze immediately? Just stop drinking.
I'm
It's
just
not
going to
worth
pour
the
it out
9.5.
on
Yeah.
my floor.
Yeah, you sure you want to just pour it out on your floor? Do you want to stab your finger or something first?
My wife's used to it, you know. Every once in a
Yeah,
while,
yeah.
there's, a beer explosion on the carpet somewhere.
Yeah, that's from episode 100 when we made a beer and Jeff
it
pierced
was-
his finger, and as well as beer spewed everywhere all over his carpet.
Yeah. But actually, luckily, my wife had put down a rug right where all the beer was. Actually, none of it got on the carpet, but it
Yeah.
completely ruined her rug.
Yeah,
Right over there. For
Yeah.
those watching on video.
yeah. Back when the kegerator was in that room.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not allowed in here anymore. But
Nope. Yeah. I wonder why. What? It should be right by. You just need it in your desk, so the
it
keg
used
goes
to be
underneath.
right there.
Yep. But anyway, sweet. I'm excited to try this out. It is. I'm the one who picked this beer to kind of force Jeff into drinking it. But yeah, back in the beginning when oh, very nice. Back in the beginning, where like when we would pick beers, they had to be like 6% basically, or we'd put them away. And now we it's a little bit different. So I guess we're just
Now we're like,
coming
5.2? I don't know if we're ready for that tonight.
it's 3.5. Oh, sick.
Hey, sign me up.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Let's crack this open and let's get going. Oh, this is a double pour.
Yep.
No. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was gonna
I'm
be.
not getting any real head on it, so I think it's going to fit. How did you get head? I didn't get any.
Mine poured perfectly.
I poured aggressively, too, because I realized
Yeah.
at the start I wasn't getting anything, so then I just dumped it right in the middle.
All right. Well, maybe my refrigerator's just better at keeping beers cold than yours.
That's it. I need
Just
a new
kidding.
refrigerator.
With a keg on top. Yeah.
Everything is from a keg now.
Everything's a keg. All right. we have some Magic news. This weekend is Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. It's January 30th to the February 1st. Standard and limited. Very exciting stuff. Love when the Pro Tour's around, and love the first one of the year. Brand new, fresh. Everybody's coming out of the holidays, coming into a new set. You know, the set's only been out for 2 weeks, kind of. So it feels real nice. Very, very exciting. As well as, not only is the Pro Tour this weekend, but there's an Arena Direct as well. So if you want to play competitive Magic at home, you can do that on Arena. You could try to get actual booster boxes of Magic cards playing sealed. That's sick. And the booster box is a collector booster box, so you won't even feel bad opening it. You could just crack it open, check out all your goodies, and then sell those to get a play booster box and draft with your friends.
I actually passed on the Pro Tour to play in this event, so... yeah.
Well, I don't know why you weren't just play on your phone and your matches in the Pro Tour at the same time.
Well, I just saw the when the Pro Tour was going to be. I was like, I'm not even going to bother qualifying for this. I have the Toronto thing the weekend after, and it's just too much Magic,
Yeah, totally. One thing about the Pro Tour, we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but we always do Pro Tour, MTG Pro Tour fantasy drafts. We're bringing them back.
This really goes back to the roots of the podcast. That's what I think.
It is, yeah. So we kind of just moved it to only doing it once a year when it was Worlds, but now we decided to do it 4 times a year for all the major tournaments. So at the time you're listening to this recording, it's too late for you to actually join. But it's a lot of fun. You should, check our Discord and join it and all that stuff, and be on our socials, because we will post about it as it gets closer and closer. For the next one, which I think is Strixhaven, we will do it once again. But it's fun. We pick the top 8. You get points per match wins, extra points for top 8, and then extra points for choosing the winner. And whoever has the best team wins the title of the champion of MTG Fantasy stuff. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. And you can pick your team and follow along if you're just hearing about this now. And
this is
honor
the main
system
thing.
But you won't get that super prestigious title.
You don't get to do the official Google form. But yes, if you... it's just a fun way to watch the Pro Tour and stay engaged by picking a couple players. It's kind of like when you watch a sporting event and you're like the Super Bowl this year. I don't care about either of these teams. I guess I'll just have to flip a coin and pick one and just root for them. That's what you can do with Magic. And then once you start following players a couple times, you're like, actually, that's one of my favorite players now. And then you just become a fan. And that's how it goes. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I do want to say, this is all kind of, if you haven't noticed, my tone has not been as excited because I know that this is coming up. We got some really bad news right before the show that the German juggernaut, Kai Buddha, has passed away. This is the greatest Magic player ever. At least the most winningest. His run of top finishes and first places in the early 2000s it's never been repeated, and it's just so sad. It's so weird that he's not only is he gone, we knew that he was sick and that he wasn't going to be around forever. That's why the Player of the Year award is now called the Kai Buddha Player of the Year award, because he's such a huge piece of this game. But also Magic is getting old enough now that we're losing players. It's a weird place to be in.
We lost him pretty young, right? So it's not
he was in his 40s, right?
Yeah, I mean, was he? I'm not
late
sure
40s, I think.
But there's no way he was older than
anyway,
50s.
I think he was 46 or 47 or something. So, it's
just a shame.
It's such a shame.
But But yeah, like you said,
So-
like widely considered the best player ever. I always think of him as super clutch. Like, I think there were players with more top eights, but nobody outright won more than he did. So it's like,
Yeah.
if he's on a roll, just absolutely unstoppable, which is why the German Juggernaut's just such a great
Yeah.
nickname for him, too.
Exactly. Kai doesn't lose on Sundays. And yeah. Anyway, sad to hear of his passing, but almost felt like a weird shock, even though I knew it was going to happen at some point. But anyway, that was just news we got like hours before the show recorded, so I just wanted to bring it up. I'm looking forward to a very wonderful tribute in the Pro Tour this weekend. I'm sure that they have something. They're putting something together right now for that. So
Scramble mode.
Scramble mode for sure. Yeah. But anyway, in other news, let's just shake it off a little bit. Let's get back to the new set, the new fun stuff. One last thing. I do want to say that normally we would pour one out for our homie who has passed, but we can't stain our carpets, or at least our floor, with this beer. It's too dark. Anyway, reminder, next week, February 3rd, the Lorwyn Eclipsed alchemy cards are being introduced to Arena. So this is your obligatory reminder that there will be another draft queue that has alchemy cards in it. Or they might just change a bunch of stuff and we don't know. So just be very, very diligent when you're joining events to read the entire title. Because sometimes they like to put the word alchemy at the end of the event. And sometimes they don't like to change the picture. And
That's
they
what
like
I was
to
going to
trick
say.
you.
I
Yeah.
am curious to see if it's the same art again, or if that was that like let's see what happens if we do this kind of thing, or is that new policy like alchemy at the end, same art,
Yeah.
generate value through misclicks.
Free data. Well, look, people like it. It's like they keep clicking on it. It's like on accident.
And you put it like where it used to be.
Exactly. In the kind of pictures. It's just like, anyway,
Don't
it's
look
really
at the
frustrating.
amount of data of people who just immediately concede and leave and go.
Yeah. Don't look at that. That's not important.
Drop out of the draft after seeing one pack.
This is the first time I've really been thinking about this, is that they don't make alchemy sets for Universes Beyond stuff, right? Like all the Universes Beyond stuff is paper. Like it all equates to paper as well. So like we do get less alchemy sets, but they're always a blemish on the in-universe magic sets now, which is kind of annoying.
Is this the long-term plan? Like, make us like Universes Beyond because there's no alchemy to
Because
tarnish
there's
it?
no alchemy cards. I don't know. Like, no, but like that is weird.
It's sort of
I'm
a
sure-
thing they're backdooring into. They're Kramering right into this strategy of like
Yeah.
getting people on board with Universes Beyond.
It could be that, or what I would hope is just like a slow petering out of alchemy. Of like, well, now it's not with every set, and it doesn't update as much, and the rotation's different. It's all confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
it's not really the point of the show, but I'll just say, like, very quickly, I've tried alchemy a few times in semi-recent eras, and for me, it's just a failed experiment. It was a cool idea, and I was kind of on board when they sold it. I think the name of
we
our
were-
episode was like, this is going to be my new favorite format. I like what they're
Yeah.
selling here. And it just hasn't been sort of what they sold originally. It's been a completely different thing. And that's okay. That's natural. It's like we have this vision, and it sort of evolves based on
Yeah, totally,
who plays
of
it
course.
and what happened. Like, but I think kind of for me, it's just kind of a failed experiment at this point. But
Yeah, totally. I agree. Just take it out to pasture.
Yeah.
Just, I think alchemy has...
because you could try something new, right? Like they're devoting all this resources to this, and this was your first try at converting, like getting a digital version of your game. I don't think it landed. No. I think Historic is a better, like Historic / Timeless are a better version of that. Mm-hmm. And I think if you just try to rework Alchemy, no one's going to like be up in arms about that, or just get rid of it so that you divert those players to Standard, which is your big seller anyways, especially with Paper kind of back on the menu. But whatever, like that's their choice.
I think that they're just worried that like now their hands are tied because they're like, well, then we just have to evaporate a bunch of cards randomly. And like I'm sure that there's going to be a big uproar about that because just like cards disappearing overnight is not a good feeling. So it's just, I just don't know.
Yeah, sure. Which is why they have to kind of phase it out, which is nice because it's just a 2-year format anyways. And so those cards can exist for Historic, whatever. I'm not saying abolish all.
Oh, you mean like literally formats. Alchemy? Just
Alchemy
like
itself is
I
think is the real failure. People like Historic, man.
No, I understand. I just want all the digital only cards to be gone because
I understand that. But what if the philosophy just changes and how they design those moving forward to something that is more agreeable to you, or they get rid of them, and this just becomes kind of like a legacy thing. Like there are bad Magic cards from 20 years ago that I'm like, wow, that's shitty design.
Oh yeah, that's when they did that thing. I think my thing with it is more so like I want to bring more people together, and I want more things that bridge the gap as opposed to splintering into smaller and smaller camps. So having a group of cards that can only be played on a client that only some of the people on the client actually play and like pushes people farther apart. I'd rather they bring like a Pauper queue where we have Pauper forever, and then you could start playing Pauper at your local game store and actually having regular formats. Like that's what I want. I want more people coming together to play the same formats, and they can do it in paper and in person. That's what I want. And Alchemy doesn't service that, so I'm not interested in it as much.
Hey man, I know when I was a kid and I saw Magic Online at my local store. And I remember this. I was like, whatever, 10. I was probably older than 10, 12 years old, whatever. Going to the local comic book store, I saw Magic Online in the little display case. My initial assumption that I assumed must be valid is that I could somehow scan the cards that I actually own and have them on my computer.
Yeah.
We still haven't gotten anywhere close to that vision of what paper to online Magic could be.
To have the same
Now, I think they could do that at this point. They just are choosing not to.
Yes, they absolutely can.
But
Pokemon
as a kid, like I was like a 12-year-old in the friggin' early 2000s, envisioned what the future of Magic online interplay could be, and we're not even close.
Actually, this is one thing. I was showing some Magic cards. I used to live with some kids that my wife nannied, and I was speaking with one of them recently. I would show the Magic cards and do stuff. I think at one point I was like cutting out proxies for something, and in his like I guess 5-year-old brain, I think he's like now he was asking me like, oh, do you still play that game where like you like don't you play online and then you beat bosses and then you like win cards that you can print out? And I was like, no, that's not how it works.
I love that
I
kids
think that was something else.
By the way, that they just like put things together and like come up with this totally awesome product that I'm like,
and I was
not
like,
what it was.
That's not what it is at all. And those weren't connected slightly, but that is a really cool idea. Like, to be fair, that is what's happening this weekend with the Arena Direct, where it's like if you win, they will ship you cards. So
right.
and I guess that is actually happening. It's because imagine they're like, here's a booster box worth of proxies. Definitely
hey,
useless.
Sometimes they do send you uncut sheets.
That's true. I honestly, I like a cool uncut sheet. They are pretty. I like them. I know that my wife will never let me hang it up on a wall. So like, it's just like useless in my house. But like, I do think they're cool.
You just need more walls so that you can claim one. You know?
Yeah, I need a wall that faces like another wall.
Yeah,
you know, that you can't
can
even
I put
walk
them
through.
here? She's like, No.
I can kind of still see it if it's like along
Yeah.
the side. Yeah, I think my only bet is to like put up magic art that she doesn't really realize is magic. Even though she likes magic art, there are certain things that she likes, but I think if she walked by and always knew it was a magic card, she wouldn't be happy. So if I put up something that is really cool that she didn't realize was a magic card, maybe. But I do believe that if I ever bring a piece of art home, she will expect it to be a magic card. So
Yeah, she'll. Yeah.
maybe I got to get a bunch of. Maybe I just got to start collecting art, and then like I just pepper in a
Yeah,
couple
you have to
magic ones, and
protect,
she
like,
won't
get
know.
a whole new hobby of being an art collector.
Exactly, it's like a shotgun blast,
Then
right?
you
I just
can
start
sneak in.
little pieces. I'll spend
the
like
craziest
500
plan.
to 1,000, 10,000, $100,000 in some
Whatever.
pieces of art,
Whatever it takes.
and then I'll get like a print of a magic one, and that was $25. You know,
Here's the thing, though. Art is so expensive. What if you become an art thief? And then you could just say you stole that piece from a museum. Even though it's like a
That's-
Kev Walker joint, you know?
that's true. I could say that. I do work at night,
There you go.
so I could just say, well, some of the times that I say I'm going to work, well, I'm going to work, but it's different, you know.
Yeah.
I'm stealing these pieces, but they're all just like prints that I bought from the spotlight that we're going to next week. God. Anyway, no, sorry. Before I do want to get to actual Lorwyn Eclipsed, but
Oh, me too. I love this.
I would love to have an original artwork of a magic card at some point. That would be sweet. Like prints are awesome. I love to have them, or I would love to have them. I don't have any. I've gifted some before. But finding an original piece would be really cool. They were
I
quite
remember
expensive,
when
but
Reed Duke used to stream. He always had. He was a very plain background, but behind him you could clearly see the artwork for Read the Bones.
yes,
Which
yeah.
I was like, that's fucking perfect. It has your name
so-
in it, and it's a card that you would play. Like, that's totally
yeah.
a Reed card. Like a green-black, dirtily mid-range. Draw 2, like, lose 2 life, scry 2, or whatever it was. I was like,
So cool.
I wish I had a perfect, like, magic art to just put on my wall
yeah.
right there.
Well,
That's behind
you
enough
know,
so the toddlers can't reach it.
Sure. Well, you know, at some point, Jeff, I will say there is a character in Marvel whose name is
No.
Jeff.
No. That's not right.
He is a shark. That's okay.
That part I don't mind.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like there is like in Final Fantasy, there's Zack. It's spelled not like my name, but there's a character named Zack. So
But see, that'd be
really.
like me. I don't know if the Zacks fight in the same way that the Jeffs do. Like, is Zack
Geoffs?
with a K, you know, as offensive to you as Jeff with a G is.
Jeff with a G is rough. The thing is, most of the time, Zach's with a K, because I'm CH, obviously. Zach's with a K, most of them I've met are kind of douchey. Like, it's always just
so
like...
the rivalry does exist. Interesting.
Except for, now at my work, there's a Zach with a K, but it's... What is his name? It's like Zakory. It's like Zakory. I think that's how it's spelled. So it's like way bizarre. And I'm just like, you know what? You're a different thing. And he is a different thing, and he's awesome. And I like him a lot. So
See,
like,
Gen Zetter.
I actually don't know. He's younger than me, but I don't know by how much.
Younger than you. I mean, that's
but,
big
like-
range, Zach.
Well, it's hard because like he's younger than me, but like I would consider him like above me at my job because he's a sous chef, and so like I kind of answer to him a little bit.
Yeah, it's the same in my work. Most of the people
Yeah.
that are above me are younger than me.
Yeah, I guess that's just how it goes. Yeah, the slow decline downhill. In your 30s. Oh, anyway, Jeff, let's get to the episode. Let's actually
All
start.
right, let's talk about Lorwyn.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Have you been playing? How's the set feel? What's going on? What have you been doing?
I have been playing. The set feels good to me. I played one draft, and then because the event that is upcoming for us is sealed, I've been jamming a lot of sealed. So I think that gives me like a slightly different perspective on the format than normally I would have, because there are differences between sealed and draft. Some of the slower stuff tends to be better in sealed. I think for this one, the big thing is that it's very rare that you get your dream, like, kindred deck in sealed.
Yeah.
You'll get, like, pockets of different kindred synergy, and you try to tie them together with shape shifters.
Well, unless you're my opponents, and then they just have the nuts, but yeah.
Yeah, that one opponent with the Kithkin deck, it's like, that's literally the dream pool that I hope to open.
It was
maybe
nuts.
elves is like the actual dream if you just get, because I've played against someone who had like 5 elf rares and then all the good elf uncommons, and I was just like, fuck me, I guess.
It's like, how? But yeah, I've been doing exactly the same thing that you've been doing. I've been basically only playing sealed. I think I've done one draft, and that was like the early access event, and everything else has been sealed. Also, playing sealed with a young child in your house is great, because you don't have to worry about the draft. You just like get to open your pool, and you could leave at any point. I don't. I build my deck very quickly. I probably shouldn't. I should slow it down.
I've actually been building slower than most formats, because these are tough builds, man.
They can be pretty tough. Sometimes I will
maybe
say
I've just gotten pools that don't have an obvious direction. But
I've had some pretty obvious pools in the sense that I am kind of angry about it, because I'll open something and be like, well, there's 3 or 4 bomb white cards. I guess we're playing that, and like, let's just figure it out.
You're like, I know this is not what's going to happen in Toronto.
Yes, and it just sucks that I like keep opening these pools where I'm not practicing right, and it's just, I think exactly what you're saying, where it's like, this set is so vastly different from drafting and from playing sealed, because all the stories and all the decks I've seen in draft look hyper focused and very kindred centric, and it's like, you pick your lane, you get your folks, and then you're just like, let's get it going. Which I think I don't really... Now, I'm going to say this before I've really drafted this set, but I always thought that I really thought kindred sets were really fun. Like, anything that was like creature type focused. Oh, what a fun thing to build. I started playing an Onslaught, so like that's probably where that comes from. But the more times we have like
Legion,
these...
right?
Yeah, but the more times we have these sets that are like, oh, you have to pick a creature type, and that's what your deck's going to be, I just don't really like it very much. Even if they're secret decks, and even if you don't have to really do that, there's like, it just kind of helps, but like, you don't have to get on rails. It just feels like you're on rails, and it just ends up not being my favorite set to draft. And I just forget every single time.
Yeah. I think this is, again, it's me guessing, because I've done one draft. But I think some of the nice things about these types of sets are that it makes the games naturally creature focused, which is a limited environment that I prefer, right? It's like, I want the game to be about playing creatures and getting into combat.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, when that's what the set is about, then it has to be that. The other thing, though, is I think, you mentioned big discrepancy between sealed and draft. I think they just reward different skills. And draft, my guess, is that it's going to be a lot about actually finding that lane. And once you find it, then your draft is on rails, right? It's like, people...
Yeah, pick the card.
The elementals are flowing to me, so I just pick all the elementals that nobody else wants, and I crush everyone, because elementals is a strong deck, but it's very, like, it never comes together in sealed, because it's one of these minor themes. So I think that's one of the interesting things they did this time is there's, like, the major tribal pairs, and then the minor tribal pairs. And the minor tribal pairs are kind of juiced, but you just don't... It's just hard to get that together. So that might kind of change the dynamic a little bit, right? Like
is elementals not... Is elementals not considered one of the major ones? I thought that it was considered one of the major...
Is it? Maybe elementals is... I'm just not really getting them in my pools.
I think that elementals is... It's just like...
But there's like giants and fairies and like...
Yeah, fairies is not one of them. Yeah,
tree
giants,
folk,
tree folk,
like,
yes.
So they have
those
these
are
like
the main
major ones and then the minor fillers. I guess yeah, elementals is just the blue-red kind of major one, but then there's elementals in other colors, and they're for the vivid deck as well.
Yeah. Because we have, I think it kind of goes with the eclipsed cards, and there is an eclipsed elemental,
Right.
which is those have all been performing quite well. Where they're like ETB, go get a card, a creature of your type, or a land of the types.
Dude, the elf one is like the bane of my existence. Every time I see the fucking eclipsed elf, I'm just like, I'm gonna lose this game. I'm just gonna lose this game. I don't know why. That's the feeling I get. It's like a 3/2 that draws a card.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's so funny
that crazy, but I just know that if you're playing that, like, you got the
your
elf
deck's gonna
stack,
get cracked.
And
Yeah, and so funny because like I don't have that feeling, but the more I've been looking at the data, the more I've been talking to people, the more I feel like I should be feeling that. But every time I see that, I'm like, okay, that's like good, but I'm not like really scared of it. But I also have had situations where like I'm trying to play like a low to the ground Kithkin deck or something, and they play the elemental one, which is a 1/4, and I'm like, well, I can't attack for 4 turns. This sucks.
me, I guess.
Yeah, I guess like I'm just dead. So the elementals deck has been a lot scarier in my mind.
That 3/5 that can't be blocked by creatures that are 2 or less.
Gosh, there's a lot of cool stuff going on this set, and even though I was just saying like, I think the sealed environment for this has been so much fun, and so much so that I almost wanted to call this episode on sealed, because I've just been playing sealed, and I wanted, hey, quick shout out. We always talk about this where we're like, hey, constructed is for best of 3, limited is really fun as best of 1. Let's just do that. But because we've been forced to be playing best of 3 sealed, because there isn't a best of 1 queue for the sealed that we could use to actually train, technically this is just a better it's better for us to train in best of 3, because that's what we're going to be playing next week anyway. But I've been having a blast. I've been having a lot of fun in best of 3 limited environments where I'm like, oh yeah, it is kind of nice going into a match being like, all right, what do they have? And a lot of the times it's like, well, they didn't show me any removal spells. So, all right, I can actually just board in some of these combat tricks that I need, because like I'm not worried about instant speed removal at all. And I just need to be able to control the board or beat them on the ground. Or like I can bring my curve down because they're going faster than me. I can bring my curve up because they're going slower than me. Stuff like that. It's like,
yeah, and that's an awesome point to bring up, because I like feel that as well, but I hadn't necessarily explicitly like logged it, that I haven't been missing the like best of 1 draft. I've just been refiring. Like, as soon as I'm done, jump right back in. Let's do another one.
Yeah.
And you can play, you can build your deck and then play it tomorrow or whatever. Like, that part's kind of nice. But I had a match the other night, and I don't think I had any sideboard tools. So it's not that I sideboarded at all. But in game 1, this was a black-green deck, and they beat me in game 1. Essentially, it came down to them having the Figure of Fable that they had played, and they surprised me with the 3 mana destroy attacker or blocking creature
response
with convoke, because they didn't have any white mana, so they had left up like black, and I was and like, I don't think and the Figure of Fable they had just played on the previous turn. Right. I was like, I don't think there's anything that exists for black that can punish me here. and then they nailed me with that. And
It's so good, dude.
I 100% lost the game because of that play. And then I happened to win game 2, and then in game 3, I was aware that that card was in their deck and that they could cast it, and I played around it and actually was able to win the game. So that's not even like a sideboarding thing. That's just best of 3 was a different animal than best of 1 in that scenario. Because in best of 1, fuck you, you lost because of the surprise card that you didn't think of.
You're done.
Hopefully you learn from that and think of it next time. But this time, I didn't actually lose the match. I just lost the game.
Yeah, it has been fun to just actually play your opponent, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of the time when you're playing best of 1, it kind of feels like you're just playing the deck. But having that knowledge, the card you were talking about is called Protective Response, which also got me early in the format, and I was like, damn, that card's good. Never again. I'm always going to be thinking about that Convoke card.
Oh, yeah. I blocked with my Elven Champion, man. Like, it was a big blow.
Oh, that's so bad.
I was like, there's no way that they could kill it for black.
Like, yeah, that's totally fine.
It's a 6/6.
Yeah, they would have to, like, they would play all the stuff that they could do is sorcery speed. Actually, no, that's not true. For black, there is the Death Touch black combat trick. You could give it, like, lifelink and Death Touch and make it 2/2. But not the, like, it wouldn't add power or anything. But anyway, actually, well, now that you bring it up, you're talking about the champions. I find them to be very interesting. Obviously the green one's the best one. It's so strong and busted, and like because the games are so grindy and things take so long that like the fact that you're just drawing a bajillion cards just because your deck is stacked with creatures because that's what you want to be doing in the format.
Yeah,
it just all works perfectly together. But in draft, I think they're like obviously great. You're going to put them in all your decks that have those creature types, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But in sealed, they're so interesting because you don't always know if they can fit in your deck or not. Because sometimes you just don't open enough elves. And you're like, well, I have the champion. Can I cobble something together that has enough elves and changelings? Because you have to 2-for-1 yourself to play it, right? You have to get, well, not 2-for-1. You do good, you get the card back. But like, you have to actually exile an elf or a changeling. And so
it's interesting you say that because the deck, I find them super interesting. Well, I've often not played them. But the deck that I was actually talking about ended up going 4-1. I was 3-0 and I lost, and then I won. But it was...
Jeff, by the way, 4-1 is a trophy when you're playing in traditional.
At this point, I knew that. Okay.
Okay. All right.
He's making fun of me because I posted, like, almost got there with this one. It went 4-1 on the Discord channel.
In the Discord?
It's like, wait a minute. Is that a trophy? I couldn't even get to 7 wins with this.
Yeah, I just like stopped. I didn't even get the 3 losses. I just went 4-0 to like 4-1.
It didn't let me play anymore. I only got 4 wins. That's a mediocre result, but
yeah. But it's like, but I swear I played way more games. Like it was a ton of games. Yeah.
But this deck that I was playing, what was I going to call it? Because it was Elves, Merfolk, and Kithkin. It was a Bant deck.
Oh. Okay.
But I was basically green-white. My green was Elves, my white was Kithkin, and then I splashed some blue cards, and those were Merfolk, kind of. And basically I had a ton of changelings in green. And I had the one that makes the Mutavault. I had the one...
Oh.
I had the, like,
Reclamation
Sage, green one. I had one. Anyways, I had a bunch of those, and then some decent elves, including the Elven Champions. And then I had some, like, white cards that happened to be Kithkin. That didn't super matter. And then I splashed the blue champion in this deck. because I was like, I think I
Interesting.
have enough changelings, and some of my white cards happened to be merfolk.
Merfolk.
So
right.
I ended up with like 8, I think, merfolk plus the champion. So I was like, I think that's enough. And then the other card I splashed was the octopus that is a clone, a changeling clone,
That for and it's like convoke.
which is double blue. But I had I had a lot of I had the mythic rare elf that taps for vivid, and then I had I think
sure.
at least 1 or 2 of the 2 mana tree folk that taps for any color. So I was like, I think I could do double blue on this. And I had a few of the changelings that are green
hybrids.
or blue hybrids, so I could convoke it.
Convoke with that, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully people are following along with me not remembering any of these card names. But the blue champion was excellent. And copying champions is absurd. Because
That
you do
does
not
sound
have
nice.
to pay the extra cost.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. So I learned that from this deck, and I did both. I copied the green champion and I copied the blue champion in separate matches, and both turned into extremely easy wins. So that's the other thing I wanted to say. Championing the Mutafault guy doesn't feel bad.
That feels so good. It's like I
Yeah.
got a land that's also a creature, and now I get rid of it, and then if you kill my guy, I get another land.
And it's a
That's so
Mutafault,
nice.
not just like any because
Yeah, it's-
those creature lands mattered, man. At one point, I was
Oh.
like, "Do I just lose if they have like a board wipe?" I'm like, "No, I would attack them with 2 Mutavaults and they would die." Like,
And I would win.
Yeah.
God, that's so nice. I will say, picking the card that you're going to champion is a lot of fun. Because I also was in a situation where I had the elf champion, champion of the perfect, and I had the reclamation sage changeling. And I was playing against, it was like game 3, and I knew that my opponent had a couple liminal holds because they had used them in the previous matches. So I was like, I'm just going to play this and champion exiling
so
that
if you get me
just to
with this-
show them. I was like, if you liminal hold my champion, I'm just going to kill it and get it back.
it's actually
And
good
then-
for me because
Yeah.
when it comes back into play, I won't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to pay the thing. So like in that exchange, you get to, gain 2 life, and then I have a Rex Sage in my hand if you try to do it again. So that was just I don't know if it was an amazing play, but it felt really good to show my opponent, I know what removal spell you have, and you can't stop
It's
me.
just like,
Yeah, it was like I could because there's some other things I could do. I could have like held it in my hand or whatever and just like got them, but like I was like, it feels better to be like, you're screwed. And they did play the liminal hold, and I was like, well, I guess I get to kill it now. That's just as a fun little thing.
and I think it's interesting
is
because it
just
might be
nice.
one of those plays that's like a good play against 90% of the player base, and
bad
suboptimal against Ben Stark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
being like, hey, I'm showing you that I can get rid of that thing.
Like, some people will be able to take advantage of that information. Maybe you want to hide it if you have other options or whatever. But most people will be like, what do I do? And just, like,
I guess I just
make
save a
suboptimal
turn.
plays based on that.
Yeah, they're like, this is not great. Yeah. Anyway, it's been good. I do like the set. I want to draft a lot. I want to sealed a lot. I want to play. I am in the situation right now where it's like I'm used to being a streamer and streaming a bunch, and like I've played 20 drafts by the time we talk about this episode. And just because of how my life is right now, that's just not what's happening. And so I just feel weirdly unprepared for like next week. I'm like, I need to jam so many more games. Like I'm used to having played every rare basically, and be like, I know what they all do. I'm not worried about anything. I like know some of the ins and outs, and I'm feeling a little nervous now. As
See,
we
my
only have
goal
1
for
week.
Toronto was like learn the main gotchas, and I feel like I learned one with
The protective response, yeah.
the response. Yeah, I already knew about Blossoming Defense. I've played against that card enough times to be able to play around Blossoming Defense in my sleeve. Probably too much. I'm like, they have one green open, I shall do nothing.
Pass.
Yeah, I won't attack, and I will not kill your creature.
Yeah. Opponent has no creatures. But they have one green. They have Blossoming Defense.
Oh, well, that was part of it, too. In the game that deck that I was telling you about, actually, one of my white merfolk was the white one that whenever your tapped creatures gain indestructible. That card was fun and has some cool play to it because you just attack with stuff. You know, like, do I have something? Do I not have anything? You don't know. And you just like never exposed that card in particular, but it let me do some pretty cool things. So I gained a huge appreciation for that card just because of the like mind games you can play. Because it's like technically correct to attack because it gives your creature indestructible for their turn. Right? Yes. So it's like,
oh, true. Right. Just to be like, even if you're like they just bump into each other.
If you weren't planning on blocking with it, you're actually supposed to attack. So it conceals everything. And, it was nice.
That's so cool. I didn't think about that. Just being like, I want this to be tapped all the time. I was thinking a lot more of like instant speed tapping your own creatures and stuff. Using like Glimmer Mites or whatever. But that's really cool.
And with the champion, it was nice because you just attack. Doesn't matter what blocks you line up. This is indestructible, but I get to stun X.
Something.
I could stun anything of my choice or whatever.
That's sweet.
And then I had the tapper, the Merfolk tapper. So I'd be like,
that card
up at instant speed. I can tap one of your things and give my anything I want indestructible, like because I tap another creature.
Yeah. The card you're talking about, it's called Wander Brine Trapper, and it is
that card.
Amazing. It's amazing. And now that I'm looking at the 17 Lands data, for those folks who don't know, 17 Lands is an amazing website that has a bunch of data on everything. Go check it out if you're interested in numbers and how well cards are doing, or archetypes or colors or anything. We will be talking more about 17 Lands in this episode, but Wander Brine Trapper is the best white uncommon.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's so strong.
I've been lucky enough to have this card in my pool often, and I'm just like, that's a pull to white for me. Like, ooh, I have that.
Absolutely. It's like a Savannah Lions that taps stuff down. The funny thing about this card is that when I was originally reading it, like, the one colorless mana to tap and tap a creature is huge. Like, when you can see that in a set, it's so good. The fact you have to tap another creature sucks, except for a lot of the games are really grindy and go for a really long time, and usually there's only one or two creatures that actually matter. It's like a flyer or like a trampler or something like that you have to deal with. And you're like, if I can just tap them down every turn, it saves me a lot of time.
But the other thing is there's a lot of like payoffs for tapping creature, like when this taps, because of Convoke. Yeah. So this is like it's almost like a Convoke kind of thing where you just want the same creatures that are good at convoking stuff are good at convoking this
tapping
ability.
Stuff. Yeah. Which I will say, like, have we had like a really strong when this creature taps thing with Convoke at the same time? I don't remember.
No, I think this is kind of the first time.
Because I feel like most of the time when we have Convoke cards, it's like tokens. It's like, oh, Celestia makes a bunch of tokens, then you just play stuff for free, basically. And that's kind of like the way that it goes. As opposed to, I could tap all my mana for this. It's actually better if I tap one or two of my creatures, because then stuff happens. And you're trying to figure out, how can I tap my creatures, especially because
there's
the
like
format...
the Merfolk that when it taps... You make a 1/1 or whatever. Right?
Yeah. The 4-mana 3/2. Like, you make the 1/1 flyer, which is great. It's I can't remember what it's
with
called.
This card, right? It's like
it's great. I've had those together before, and we were just like sick, because then not only you're tapping your best creature, you're making a chump blocker as well. If the situation calls for it, it's like, even if they play something that I have to deal with or something goes wrong, Like I
Yeah.
still have a safety of like this 1/1 just in case. So sometimes that gives you an extra little push where it's like now the creature that I would normally have to try to block with or something, I can attack with. Like maybe I'll be able to attack with my cheap flyer or whatever, but now I have 1/1 to chump if I have to, and I can do that for a long time while I chip in for little bits of damage over a course of many turns, and then I can win the game. Really cool. So those are the kinds of things that I've been finding extremely interesting with this set. I talked earlier about how the changelings are so cool with this, like, they're the glue to all the different stuff, because with, like, when we talked about or we didn't really talk about Bloomborough, but like I think we said this last week, the batching of creature types to try to get them to kind of mesh and draft, I feel like is really clunky and not really interesting, and kind of like just hard to read and like annoying. While the changelings feel just so good. They just feel so good.
And I would say, like, the changelings are actually pretty decent. I feel like a lot of the times they design this kind of thing, the changelings are so garbage in terms of raw, like, stats and playability.
Just
that it's like,
literal trash.
yeah, this is something you can use, but you don't want to.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple like that in this set that's like, I don't want to play this card, but I will.
But I guess I have to, yeah.
Like, sometimes I lost a game getting beaten down by the 4/2. I'm just like, I'm really going to get crushed by this card. But,
yeah.
like, yeah, sometimes the deck calls for it. But a lot of the changelings are really reasonably playable. And I think that changes the calculus a lot on these kinds of decks. Because instead of being like, an elves deck has to be mostly elves with changelings to fill the void, it can be like the changelings are they're elves. They're solid. They're fine. You're happy to have them in your pool, kind of
You're
thing.
like, sweet.
And I'm kind of looking for pools that are heavy on changelings, because
that's exactly what it is.
It lets me play my good stuff, right?
It's like, man, this card is so much better if I have more goblins. Thank God I have like 5 changelings in my deck, because that just adds 5 goblins that are also 5 elves.
Right.
Instead
like
of
I have
having
a
to
good
be
elf
like,
rare and a good goblin rare, I could play Jund. And if I have enough changelings, it's almost like, the sets where, like, you're really looking for fixing because you want to play all your rares. In this set, you're looking for changelings because you want to play all your rares.
I really like that. I think that's so true. Yes, absolutely. Because you're trying to find the glue. And like champions are exactly the situation where you're like, I can only play this if I have the right fixing for it, which is creatures with a specific type. And changelings are that fixing.
And
That's
generally,
so
I've found it
interesting.
totally fine to play 3 color, like splash a 3rd color in this set. I don't think that's
in
that
sealed
big
for
a
sure.
deal.
Yeah. Like especially, I mean, if you're playing green with like the 0/4 guy.
Yeah, there's Evolving Wilds. There's the colorless changeling. There's a few other colorless cards that help you splash.
There's the 1/3 Scarecrow that does help.
I like that card, personally.
Yeah.
I know it's like not a great card, but it helps me with my favorite deck in the format that I've played so far. Which was this like wild vivid deck. But
yeah. Which the other thing is like, I underestimated the amount of butts in this set. The butts are huge, and it really makes my feisty spikeling, feisty. What is it called?
It's
feisty spikeling. Yeah. My pick really bad because
I was putting that card in my decks because of you early, and now I'm like, I don't like this card.
I know. I've had so many situations where like I have that card because I'm sick. I have this like sweet changeling, and then I just can't ever attack because they have a
Plus
1/3.
with like the blights and stuff, there's ways to put -1/-1 counters and things.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I like the elf you picked because it has 3 power, a lot better than the changeling you picked that has 2 power. But
yeah. Well, the elf is good.
Yeah, the
like, that's a
Surveil
great
on
card.
an in and out, and a 3/1, and in one of the best archetypes.
Yeah, Lisa Lana Informant, 2-mana 3/1, great. I was just thinking that the first strike was going to be. Well, I thought the Kithkin would want like a 2/1 first striker, which like sometimes they will play that card, but that's literally the only deck that plays that card. It's like Kithkin.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like you don't hate if they play it, because usually it deals like 2 damage and then you can block it. I've had my opponents play it. I'm like, oh, sick! Look at my next play is a 1/3, and they're like,
yeah. Or it's like I was planning on playing the 0/4, so
yeah. So like, sure,
and I will
attack
block
as much as you want.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
care.
So it's, yeah. I think it's also funny, like the Gallant Foul Knight, which is the 4-mana 3/4 Kithkin card that like gives all your creatures +1/+0 and first strike.
Yeah,
Kind of does a bigger version. Like I didn't really think about this taking up that 2-drop slot, but because it doesn't take up the 2-drop slot, but the first striking part, the power of that first strike goes away. It's not like, oh, this pumps all your team, and thank God you had that 2-drop that was a first striker.
gotcha.
Because it
yeah,
gets
no, I see what
better.
you're saying. Yeah,
It's like, oh, well, it's kind of redundant. Like any of your 2-drop Kithkin would have first strike at this point, so it doesn't matter.
yeah.
So I didn't really think of, because like this has been a card that I've been like, oh God, and you survive one combat, you're like, okay, well, I think we can scrounge our way back, and then they play another one of these stupid things, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just dead.
Yeah. The
which
double
is-
chicken is rough.
But cock, it's
To be fair,
what do
I've
they
had
call
that card in my hand, being like, ugh, I'm not ahead. I guess I just kind of have to
I
cast
can't attack
this,
really.
and, like,
Yeah, and then you just have like a
just for
3/4.
board presence, and it feels real bad in those situations. But the Kithkin deck is sort of designed that you're going to be ahead, and this is a way to like push through. I think that card's an important part of that deck.
I think it is too. I think it's quite important. But yeah, I guess it's kind of time to talk about like. Well, we've had a lot of fun this episode.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. We should probably just quickly talk about some of the like major players as far as like which decks you're hoping to be playing.
Yeah.
And
these are draft, right? Just to
Yes,
clarify, because we've been talking about sealed.
we have been talking about sealed. We don't have enough sealed information to give you quality data on sealed stuff. And when we talk about that information, I'm talking about 17 lands information. So all the things that we're going to talk about right now is Premier Draft. So it's best of 1 draft. And this includes splashes. So we haven't separated those out. But the clear front runner for best deck of the format is Golgari. It's green, black elves, which is pretty cool because oftentimes, I feel like this deck is so different than other Golgari decks we've seen in the past. A lot of the time when we see in limited formats, we have like, Boros is really good because you want a really aggressive deck, or we're playing like Teamer because you want to go big and do a bunch of weird stuff, or you're playing like Sultai because you want reanimator-y stuff, or
Right.
Abzan because you want reanimator-y stuff, and that's where the green-black decks shine, where it's like you have big cards in green, you have great reanimation in black, you're milling stuff. Outlaws of Thunder Junction was like that,
Yep.
where it was just like, yeah, your big bombs. You
Golgari
kill them, they
was,
come
I
back.
think, the best deck in that format, but it was very reanimator.
It was the Abzan colors, yeah, that kind of swirl. In this format, that is not really the case. It's not like you're trying to play something big and then reanimate it. You just get value on all your cards because you have cards in your graveyard. There's like cards that care about having elves in your graveyard when they enter or when they die, or enchantments that there's that one enchantment that like you get some value every turn, and then you get to
Oh my god! that
blow
card.
it up and make a bunch of 2/2 elves equals the number of elves you have, as well as the other. There's that like 4-mana trampler that gets +1/+1 for each creature you have in play and in your graveyard. Like,
Ugh, that card is so good,
yeah,
and I actually love that card in Kithkin, but
just to
it's
push.
also
you
good
get-
in elves. but like I played it in my green white Kithkin deck. I was like, this card's fucking nuts because I just have so many creatures.
There's so many creatures, right? And it has trample built in already. I know it's 4 mana, but like it reminds me of Soulless One, but it has trample. Soulless One was a star for 3 and a black, and it cared about all the zombies in play and in all graveyards.
Right. Yeah.
It was one of my favorite cards as a kid. That's why I know it very well. But
the in graveyard matters because you can't shenanigans your way out of this one. You can't like kill something.
Exactly.
And this loses power. Like,
well, you'd have to exile their graveyard, right, to be able to get rid of stuff. Which there are some exiled cards, right? There's some stuff. There's the white enchantments or like the black, the Bog Slither's Embrace.
Yeah.
But
it's sorcery, that one.
I know, but like, I guess if you Bog Slither's Embrace, you're just going to exile the actual card.
Yeah, get rid of the trampler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yes, it is brutal to deal with. So elves
that was
are
not a surprise to me. Black green elves is like
good.
That's the pool I want to open. It's like the dream elves pool because I've gotten crushed by it a bunch of times. I've never had I've never played black green myself because it's just never felt like it was there.
Yeah. I've played black green, but like it wasn't strictly elves. It was like I was doing some elf stuff, but I never did the mill stuff. Like I never had the cards that cared about the graveyard, and I actively was not playing the milling elves because I had no payoffs. Even though the both of them are really good, like the Scarblade Scout, the 2 mana 2/2 with lifelink, that mills you 2. There was a card in Outlaws of Thunder Junction that did this too, and you got to target person mills.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to target your opponent sometimes, because then you could commit a crime.
Yeah.
But oftentimes you want to hit yourself. That would help you out. As well as Dawnhand Eulogist, which is also a great elf card. Like, both of those cards are really strong, but if you don't have reasons... I mean, Dawnhand Eulogist does actually care if you have an elf in your graveyard when it enters. But there's some other cards that, like... If you look at your pool and you're like, well, I don't have ways to reanimate stuff. I don't have ways to get cards back from my graveyard. I don't have cards that care about elves in my graveyard. Do I want to play these elves? That's an interesting
Yeah, I think generally, like, the 2/2 lifelink for 2 is something you can play, right? You're just like, maybe I just need that in my curve. But that's not, like... so incredible that you have to play. So to me, that it's like if you're an elves, for sure. If you're not an elves, it's if you think your deck needs 2 drops and you have those, like throw them in, kind of thing.
Yeah. I just mean like it's more interesting when you go into a sealed environment where you're like, how much do I actually want to be milling myself? What's going to be going on with this?
Yeah, the games do go relatively long a lot of the time. I don't think I've played in a match where mill was the decider. Like, not yet.
Yeah.
But it's something that you have to consider.
I mean, like, I had played a game where I was playing, like, a white-black deck. And which is white-black is not one of the supported archetypes. But I had 2 of the Reaping Willows. So it's like 1 hybrid Orzhov. So it's like really heavy white or black or both. But like you usually try to hope to be in one or either one of the colors. But
yeah, I've played it in heavy black decks a couple of times.
Yeah. But I had so many great little white creatures that had 2 or like 3 mana value to return stuff back to the battlefield, and I kept doing all this stuff, and I had a regular reanimation spell. So what would happen is, like, I'd play it, I'd reanimate something with it. My opponent would kill it because it's a 3/6 lifelinker. I would reanimate it back to the battlefield. It would get the reanimation spell in this set is instant speed. and if you did it on your opponent's turn, you can blight 2. So if you blight 2 onto your actual like
I
tree
never
folk,
realized that, but yeah, that's perfect.
yeah, it enters with 2 counters, and you get 2 more counters, and it's still alive. So then you get to reanimate 2 more things back to the battlefield.
And even
so
if you've already reanimated, you can blight 2 onto there to reanimate again. Like, just works out.
It's just so great. And I was having a blast where, like, it could be, especially because some of the other cards in my deck were, like, crazy white bombs. Like, I had because I had 2 of the Reaping Willows, plus I had the giant... it's what is it? It's like a 4/7, and it enters with a bunch of -1/-1 counters on it, and you can take the counters off to bring back creatures with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, I don't think I've even played against that one.
It's like 3 white.
I really like the giant mechanic. I think it's super fun. Of this whole, like, we enter
Just
with
happy.
-1/-1 counters, and we do stuff to remove them.
Yeah. The card is called Slumbering Walker. Okay. It's a 4/7, but like at your end step, you can remove counters from it to reanimate stuff. So it's a great place to put blight stuff because you can just keep reanimating stuff, which was a lot of fun. But also, I was very lucky. I had the mythic Curious Colossus, which is the 7-mana 7/7 that makes all your opponent's creatures 1/1 cowards. But like I would play that, their board would be huge, but like they'd all be 1/1s. None of them had trample anymore. I didn't have to worry about any of their crap. They would kill the Colossus. They'd play some more stuff. I'd reanimate the Colossus, bring it back. It was just so much fun. It had like this really, like a bunch of 2-drops, Reaping Willows, and then a bunch of big giants, and it was just and like no removal basically. It felt like I was playing like no removal. It was like, I'm going to play threats, and you have to deal with it, and I just bring them back. And that was my deck. And it's funny that I mentioned this, because white-black is one of the worst color pairs. It is at the bottom with blue-black. It's like 49.8%. You do not want to be playing white-black, and blue-black really doesn't come together, especially in sealed. Both of these are like... I think... like the white-black deck that I had built that was so much fun that I'm talking about, number one, I don't think I actually trophied with it. I just remember it because it was a blast.
Yeah, because you're doing the off-meta thing.
Oh, it was so much fun. But I think I went like 2/2. You know what I mean? Which makes sense because, like, you know, it has pieces
Deck's about
going
50-50.
on. I also didn't have removal, like I said, so I couldn't really do things about my opponent's stuff. But I felt like I was crushing, you know? Because sometimes you crush a game, and then you lose the other 2, and you just remember the game you crushed. You're like, damn, that was so sick. Like, I'm so good at Magic, man.
Yeah,
like,
my deck didn't work at all the other 2 games, but that one.
God, I'm prolific. I'm Kai Buddha. I'm such an amazing Magic player. And then you just forget that you lost the match. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to bring it up. Watch out for the off-color stuff. Most of them are pretty bad. Normally we talk about top-down, but I just wanted to quickly point out that all the off-color stuff is at the bottom.
And I think it's worth mentioning, as you said, white-black's 49.8, blue-black's 49.7. Those are awful win rates for 17
really
lands.
bad.
Like, they sound about 50-50, but that's some of the worst we've seen. Like, it almost never goes below 50.
If it starts with a 4, get out the door.
Exactly. Because 17 lands it generally is players who know about this tool and have actively volunteered to play, so it skews better players. So usually every deck is above 50%. To see these 2 below 50 means those decks are bad.
Yeah, usually it's like 52 to 53, kind of like what you're looking for. That's like that would be your normal 50%. Yeah. That would be your basic. Like 52 would be like, this is the median.
Oh yeah, like 53 should be average. 52.
Yeah.
but we've seen some skewed stuff where it's been like 60. I think we saw the best deck at 60 at one point. I was like, holy shit.
I mean, like, it's hard when the best deck is 61 and the worst deck is 49. You know, that's a rough format. We're not there because the best deck is 57 in Elves. So...
But I think there is an interesting thing here. So I will say I haven't considered any of the bottom 5. Red, green, red, white, green, blue, white, black, blue, black. Really in like my internal rankings because they're not supported archetypes. So you brought this up. If it's not like a supported archetype, it's this the stats are agreeing with it not being great.
Yeah. Which I just, when we talk about that unsupported stuff, you had brought this up earlier and it was an easy trap to fall into. Most of the time in draft formats, we're talking about allied colors or enemy colors. And this set is basically a mishmash where we have some allied and some enemy. Right?
It's about like the kindreds.
So blue red is an enemy color. Black green are enemy colors. However, white green and white blue and black red are all ally colors. And those are the core ones.
Yeah.
That's why it's confusing, because you would normally think, oh, if like Kithkin, white green, is a deck, that means green red is a deck, that means blue black is a deck, that means, you know, so on and so forth. That's why it gets just.
But if you think about it as a creature-centric format,
yes,
we're just talking about elves, Kithkin, merfolk, elementals, and goblins.
Yeah.
And then there are the sort of like middle ones in the between. But yeah, I'm going to get to that in a second, because this almost matches exactly what I've been feeling by playing. I would say I never got to play with the elf deck myself. And so I was kind of like, is Kithkin the best or elves the best? Because I've had a lot of success with Kithkin. But the deck I lose to is elves. So I'm like, I've never got to play it, so I don't get to feel it. I don't know which one of those two is the top one.
It's so funny.
I have a bias towards like the green, white, and Kithkin. I want to just... That's the deck I want to be the best. So I think that's... if you asked me before the show, I would have flipped those two.
I would have flipped them as well, because like I feel like I've played elves a lot, but in a weird elf way where I'm like, I'm playing elves, but I'm also playing white, but I'm not Kithkin. Or it's like, I'm playing elves, I'm playing black, but it's also kind of goblins, you know? And so it never felt like I'm like in elves, but the deck that I was most afraid of was usually Kithkin or elementals. Those tended to be the decks I was most afraid of, because elementals could go over the top, and they oftentimes...
I've never just had any density of elementals. I've never played anyone that did. That's why I mistook it for like a secondary...
and it's been a deck where I think I knew it was a deck early on because my first sealed was an elemental sealed. And I went... I didn't go... Actually, no. Sorry. I didn't do very well at that sealed elementals. But then I drafted a trophy with elementals. And this was all in the early access event. And I was just so surprised.
Kind of bad, right? Like...
It's kind of middle of the pack, but I was just so surprised that, like... Well, it was getting passed to me like none other.
It's middle of the pack if you consider all the non-decks. But it's the bottom of the pack.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, I'm considering all the non-decks. I consider all the decks you could play. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I get what you mean, that if there's only 5 decks, it's in the bottom of the 5 decks.
I would argue there is the 6th deck of Vivid, especially in Sealed. I think actually that's the pool. Well, okay, I'm hoping to open the Dream Pool in either Elves or Kithkin. I think... maybe that's about the cutoff where I'm like, would I prefer the Dream Merfolk pool or the Dream Vivid pool at that point? That's kind of what I'm considering in my head. Because Vivid I've had some success with it, and it's just nice because that's, again, Sealed is very much about playing all your rares, all your most powerful cards. I guess we've moved to the point where it's not just rares, but uncommons. Like, you just play your most powerful cards.
Because... if you have the same uncommon multiple times that's really good and your whole entire deck is revolving around it, you can win very easily.
Correct.
I played against a Kithkin deck that had not one, not two, but three of the freaking Lieutenant uncommon that I picked as the best uncommon, and it was in fact busted if you had three of
Absolutely
them
insane.
in your sealed pool. I was so livid because like that was the only card I saw. That card I saw, the Gold Meadow Dude, which they ended up using as a blocker because they could play multiple creatures on the same turn if it was dead, which sucked. They had two of the Chicken Knights, and then I think the only rare the entire time I ever saw was I think it's a good rare. It's the green one, the Bristlebane Battler. Like that's a good Kithkin card.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the 2-mana 6/6 that has a bunch of -1/-1 counters, but when you play creatures, it gets bigger. It also has trample. So that was like a problem, but that just meant that like I couldn't deal with all these stupid uncommons, and like I just got bulldozed with the trample all the time. It's like they just double spell. I can't block anything. They double spell. I can't block anything. It's just like, or like I can, but it's like none of it is profitable. It's all bad.
Okay, I've mentioned dream pools a few times, but I take it all back. Your opponent's pool is my dream pool. That's exactly what I want to open.
Because it was so fast. It was so hard to deal with.
I have another thought, like it's common in Magic that like, how do you even explain this? Certain words progress through and things are just named after that now, right? Like Millstone, it defined milling.
Sure.
And then
yeah.
lords and whatever. I feel like lieutenant is becoming a thing. It's like a different kind of lord within a kindred thing. When something is labeled a lieutenant, I expect this to be like not a static lord, but like a when you play things lord.
When this enters, something happens, and when you play other ones that are the same creature type, something happens.
They're like they've like built off Thalia's lieutenant and just turned that into a whole new magic word. That a lieutenant now means something in the Magic universe.
I can kind of see that. Like this is actually that is funny. How many of those have we had in Magic's history?
Because they just did it with allies, and now they're doing it with Kithkin.
Excuse me. Okay, there are a lot of cards with Lieutenant in the name, and they all do different things.
They're redefining it. How many are recent? Because I feel like recently they've sort of printed a lot of cards like that.
Some of them are like we have some like Modern Horizons stuff. We have some like Lord of the Rings stuff, Commander Master stuff that are all different.
Okay. Well, keep an eye out because last set, Avatar, and this set, they're very like Thalia's Lieutenant style cards.
It's true. They also have the same casting cost too, so that's
it's like a 2-drop that is like a ETB Lord instead of a static Lord.
Yeah.
They're trying to push that.
Interesting. Yeah, because they had Legion Lieutenant in Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan. That was like a vampire lord, but it was just a regular lord. So that was the last time that Lieutenant was a regular lord. And
it makes sense, like, sort of, that it's not like the first in command that just powers everybody, but it's the guy a little closer to the ground. He's like, someone gets out there. It's like, yeah, go get him.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know very little about the army and war.
Yeah. It's like the, instead of the GM, it's like the manager, Yeah,
exactly. You inspire at different levels.
Exactly. No, awesome.
We're getting the kindred hierarchy mapped out for us.
It's perfect.
Otherwise I think Merfolk is good. Elementals being like at the bottom of that list, but not that bad, lines up with what I would have guessed. But the absolute thing I absolutely would have done is put fucking goblins in a whole other tier below all the other kindreds, because I wanted goblins to be good. Okay, I did it at the pre-release. I did it in a sealed event, and I literally told myself, I don't care how good the goblins look. you do not build a Goblins deck next time. It is awful. I hate it. And the biggest surprise seeing this was that one of the rando decks didn't beat it. Because I think Goblins sucks.
Wow. Wow.
But it is.
That's
Look,
brutal.
it's barely better than red-green.
It's true. It's true. It is barely better than one of the like chunkier decks. Red-black has 52.9% and red-green has 52.6%. I do wonder, like, yes, I kind of agree that Goblins is not very good. And when I had played Goblins, it was like, it wasn't a Goblins build. It was, I need a 2-drop, and that 1/3 works really well.
Right.
Because
like,
it gives
I'll
my
put
changelings
Goblins in my
+1/+0.
deck.
Yeah.
Just don't want that to be the I
The
don't want
thing.
that to be my deck.
Like, I don't think I'm going to play because I think, so in the specific build I'm talking about, I was definitely split Goblins and Elves. And I had the gold signpost uncommon for Goblins that, like, every time a Goblin dies, you, like, ping them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I decided not to put it in my deck because I didn't want to play red,
When I fucking
like,
picked.
like, that low. Right.
Sea of my choices.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
The worst deck in the format.
It's not the worst deck in the format.
Yeah,
Anyway.
if you build something that is not supported, it's worse. But if you build an actual deck in the format, that one's the worst.
I just think that, like, there are worse cards that you could have picked. It's a totally serviceable card. And if you have a bunch of those,
The
because
card
nobody
is
likes
fine,
Goblins.
but its win rate is going to suffer by the Goblins deck being overall.
The win rate is 56.6. That's a C+. It's a totally reasonable win rate.
C plus is never going to win.
I just think that it's totally fine. It's not great. It's below Reaping Willow. It's below a bunch of other stuff, but it's still totally serviceable and fine.
Alright, good to hear. We'll see where it ends up.
Yeah, we'll see. I picked some bad cards too, so like my first striker pick is way worse than yours. So,
Yeah, but those
Just-
different slot.
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't weigh. The points don't weigh differently.
It does, because when you choose the uncommon, that's your chance. At like
That's your ringer,
60%.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my uncommon was pretty good. It wasn't
Yeah.
even the best though. Like
No,
my
I
uncommon
know.
is like so low compared to, like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's eighth. It's eighth
Yeah.
from the top is the uncommon I picked.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was going to be for sure the best. Like, that's brutal.
It's just it's an impossible game.
Pack 0, pick 1 is so hard. Go
Yeah.
back to the last episode if you want to hear about all of our picks from that. We're going to review all of them at the happy hour episode in only a couple days, it feels like. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is creeping up on us. It's in literally the early access event. I already have, like, information about it. It's happening at the end of February. Like, it's
You didn't have to
so
tell
close.
me that.
I'm sorry. I'm just ruining everything for everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, brutal.
I feel like I've already done the pre-release for that. Cause...
Yeah, you have. Anyway, if you want to play this format, you should be playing Elves, Kithkin, or Merfolk. That's what you want to focus on. I do think, if you're in Sealed, check out that Vivid deck or those Elementals. They go hand in hand. Because, what I said last time, the Land Cyclers are in blue and red, and they're actually kind of good.
They're good.
Because they're the only ones, and they get whatever you want. I think it's really interesting. That's
It's
cool.
super interesting for Sealed, for sure.
As we kind of, like, leave this section of the podcast, like, I think that this set has been really interesting. Early on, I'm griping with some of the Kindred stuff, and, like, maybe these kinds of sets are not that exciting. But maybe I'm realizing that, like, when they build them really well, like, maybe if I'm playing Kindred and there's, like, a draft, maybe I just go over to Sealed and I just have a great time. Because I've been having a blast.
Ooh,
And
yeah,
you just
that's a good
really,
takeaway.
really hope. Like, maybe Bloomborough Sealed would have been a lot more fun for me than Draft. Because I hated Draft. Like, I didn't hate it. Sorry. I, like...
You never hate draft, but it's all relative.
No. I did have to stop streaming and drafting for a while because I was getting so frustrated with Bloomburrow.
Right.
Because I was just not having fun. And I wonder if I just put that effort into sealed instead. If there's a tournament around for me to get ready for, then maybe that would have been more exciting. I think that actually ultimately boils down to my final takeaway from all of what's been happening right now and everything that's been going on. I think I have so much fun playing Magic when I have a goal in mind. And when that goal is preparing for a tournament, it is so rewarding and fun.
It's honestly my favorite part about tournaments is getting to play Magic to prep for.
Yeah.
Not scrubbing out. That part is not as fun.
Yeah. I'm prepared to scrub out and then do some side events and, normally it would be grab a beer afterwards, but I think that beer will be at my house holding my child. But yeah, I know that, like, it's fun collecting cards, it's fun to do stuff and all that kind of, all those things, but like preparing for a tournament, and that's what I think. If I'm in a paper tournament and I'm collecting cards for a paper tournament, that's super exciting. If I have a specific use for something, that's really fun.
Yeah,
and I haven't realized that more than, well, I knew this already, but like this really cements it, where I was like, man, playing best of 3 sealed, which I just don't do on Arena, has been the most fun.
I'm glad you put me onto that, because you're like, why did you draft when we're playing a sealed event?
Yeah.
It's like, he's right. Yeah. And I've just been having so much fun.
Yeah, because like going into this, like the tournament we're playing in is 1,800 people. So like all I care about is day 2ing. And like if I can day 2, then like hopefully I can find something within the first 5 picks and just like on rails go. But I'm not worried about what my pick order is, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just worried about how to build.
Is to day 2, right? It's not to top 8. I'm not trying to like evenly practice. Of course, if I top 8, that'd be amazing. But it's just like day 2 is like the dream. Yeah. And if I get close, that's a good day. And if I scrub out, that happens. You know, it's part of the part of the game. So
it's part of the game. So I'm expecting to scrub out. I'm hoping to day 2. Yeah. And if I get 4 wins, I think that's a gravy train right there.
Ooh, I love that characterization.
Yeah.
Let's just apply Arena gravy train logic to this event with 18.
Because technically you get to day 2 if you 6 and 2. So
right. But 4 and 4 is tough, man. 6 and 2 so tough. In best of 3 sealed, that's not easy to do.
It's so hard. So like it wouldn't be 4 and 4 because you'd probably drop. So like 4 and 3, I still think I would be happy with a 4 and 3. Yeah. Like
4-3 drop. That's totally respectable.
I would be happy with that. That would be if I 4-3 drop. I'm going to be happy enough that I could call myself a Mist Meadow Council right there.
I love that card.
Huh. Who said that would be a good card? I wonder. Who was that?
No one I know.
Somebody thought it would be great.
Well, nobody that I listen to ever mentioned.
Okay, sure. Anyway, we'll have to leave some of that for the happy hour later. But, Jeff, we still have a teensy little bit of time. I do want to quickly talk about the Pro Tour next week. Or next week. When I say next week, I mean tomorrow.
Yeah, starts tomorrow.
Starts
in a matter of hours.
Yeah. I kind of want to know what our teams are, or your team is, because I already obviously know mine.
It's like, am I picking both teams? Because I will do that.
So I don't have anything fully prepared to obviously write all this stuff down, but I think that it would just be fun to just go through and be like, what are our favorite players? What are we doing? And who's picking who for the tournament? I have mine in alphabetical order, if that helps.
Hey, me too.
Wow.
By last name, though.
Well, okay. Yes, of course, by last name, Jeff. It's always by last name. Oh, gosh.
Honestly, the only reason I said that is because I wrote their first names in my list here, and it was like, it's not in alphabetical order. I was like, oh, yes, it is by last name.
Yes.
For my own like notes, I just wrote all their first names. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. I got a spicy one for the first.
My list is not
here.
spicy. So
This is. I have two spicy takes.
my list is
And this
like
is one
pretty
of them.
boomer, to be honest.
All right. Well, I knew that would happen. And when I say spicy, I just mean I'm giving some loyalty to the man, the legend, the streamer, my fellow streamer, when I get back to doing that regularly. Jim Davis. I think this guy.
I thought about picking Jim. Jim's a great player, man. Jim's a
Jim
world-class
is a really
player.
great player. He's phenomenal. He plays all the time, and he does test really well, and he is good at documenting that testing, which I really appreciate, seeing what goes into all that stuff.
And he's a great streamer. If you guys haven't checked him out, like check out his stuff.
Oh,
and he
he's
just comes across so genuine. He just seems like a really genuine person. So.
Yeah. He is exactly what I think we kind of aspire to be as well. Just like his demeanor and he's just a really stand-up guy. He's great. And
He's like
I think
us, but just like smarter and better at magic.
And better. And yeah. But he is due for a win. I think he's been sitting in the wings for a while. He'll day one a lot, day two a bit. I think he's always on a good team too. So like I think he's just like, we're gonna get there, and this could be it. As long as he doesn't play goblins in draft. Because goblins is his favorite.
He loves
deck.
goblins. He has a whole segment
goblins.
about it.
Yeah, he plays Mog Mondays, which are obviously goblins from Dominaria. So
Actually, I don't even know if he still does that, but he used to do that.
he used to do it. So I know that he loves Goblin Pile Driver. He has like a whole thing with it. So anyway, Jim Davis is my first pick. So you did not pick him. Okay.
No. Okay, so I happen to work at a financial institution, and and I'm a data scientist there. Some of the data I've seen is that, when you're talking about investing and stuff, a lot of people like to do the whole guess the top or guess the bottom. But generally, the best strategy is to just go with momentum. Something's rising, just buy it and it keeps rising, kind of thing. Obviously, not always true in an individual setting, but in the long run, works. That's where I approached this selection from. I was inspired by the momentum strategy. And so I just picked people who are doing well.
Okay.
And assumed they will continue to do well. With a couple of flavor choices of people I like. Granted. But we're going in alphabetical order. You had someone whose first name starts with J and last name starts with D. And so I similarly picked Jean-Emmanuel Deprat.
Yeah. I knew you were going to pick him. It's obvious. I also picked JED. So.
Okay. Okay. So you picked JED as well. Speaking of people whose first name starts with J and last name starts with D, are we uncovering a magic secret? Because I picked Javier Dominguez.
Yeah, I also picked Javier Dominguez, of course.
It'd be crazy to have him on your list. It'd be insane not to pick him.
But the reason that we picked Javier Dominguez, it's coming out right now for fantasy lovers everywhere, for MTG Fantasy Teams. There are two players over the last 3 years for every tournament who have day 2'd every single time.
You're spoiling our
Javier
picks when we get
Dominguez.
to the K.
It's Javier Dominguez and Eli Cassis. We both picked them. I knew we were both going to pick them. I knew I had to pick both of them because Jeff was going to pick both of them.
Of course.
Obviously, we're picking both of them. But that's a crazy stat. That's a crazy stat.
It's absolutely insane.
It's insane.
You got it, right?
Yeah.
If someone proves time and time again that they make day 2,
Yeah.
gotta trust them to make day 2.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, day 2ing in fantasy draft is big. Like, you really need... Because
you get a
top
whole
8ing,
set of games.
exactly. You get a whole day's worth of games. And, like, top 8ing, obviously you want to get there, but, like, there's only 8 players that get there. So, like, day 2ing is really what you need to hit.
You lose these things from players not making day 2. Trust me, as the person who did the absolute worst last time.
That's what you need to get.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on my next one because we kind of skipped past him a little
Hold
bit. Okay. What are you
Let
going
me
to
just
say?
squeeze someone in there because we're doing.
I was going to squeeze someone in there. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, fine.
You
go ahead.
squeeze.
You go.
You squeeze yours in.
No, you can squeeze first. Whatever.
Fine. I obviously picked Reed. I'm gonna squeeze
sure.
Reed in there. Reed.
Sure.
Duke. Apparently,
Sure.
half my team last name starts with D, but
All right.
we're just learning. We're learning here.
Yeah. Well, Reed Duke is a phenomenal player. And so, like, it's so hard because I always want to pick Reed, like, all the time.
Well, so I'm biased by the match that I watched him play at the Pro Tour, which was just a bunch of merfolk that were 2/3s, and just watching him absolutely dominate limited based on creature combat. And so this time I was like, I love Reed and I want to pick him, but I think actually this limited format
Is a Reed
tends
format?
towards his strengths,
Okay.
which is just creature combat and understanding what to attack with and like when to take damage. He's like excellent at that, like best in the world. And so, who knows what he's gonna play in Constructed, but I'm pretty sure it's a Badger Mole Cub deck, and I think that card's pretty good. So it feels like his time.
It does.
But obviously, he won with like blue-red. He won his Pro Tour with like blue-red
creativity.
So he can win with anything. But
He
this
can. That
plays
kind of
to his strengths.
Yeah, everybody likes to talk about him playing like Jund and everything, but like I love that when he won, it was with a deck that was like so not a Reed Duke deck.
It's like the story of my life because he except much better, but he top 8'd with crappy mid range decks, and then finally decided to play the meta deck and wins.
Right.
And I haven't ever actually made that decision, but it's the decision I believe can happen.
All right, Jeff, that's not true at all. What are you talking about? One of the first episodes of this podcast, you had net decked, you played a top tier deck, and you top 8'd with it because of that. And you're like, whoa, what would happen if I just played the best deck? I don't know.
And then I went back to playing crap. So
I don't know why. There was that sweet tournament where you picked up on the hotness on Friday. And then you did really well.
Yeah, that was
sick. Yeah.
That was before I had children, though. For sure.
That's true. That was in the early
I
podcast
ain't
stage.
picking
That was
up
in
on
the.
hot. Although I was kind of in on the. So we're getting off topic, but the graveyard. God, I can't remember any of the card names.
What are you talking about?
That beer was strong. The recently the green-white deck that kind of popped off.
Oh,
I spoke
right,
about
right,
it
right.
before
Yeah.
previously.
Okay,
I saw
I know
that
what
deck
you're
on
talking about.
Reddit before it popped.
Right. And now I remember. Anyway, sorry. You also juked me because the player that I picked was ahead of that one. Michael DeBenedetto Plummer. This guy is on a tear. If you want to talk about people that are on the rise, well, I guess he should be on the fall, but I feel like he's just got to keep going up. He won Pro Tour Edge of Eternity, right?
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was a fluke. Didn't he freaking top 8 in the World Championship, or at least he got really close? He was.
He was doing super well. Yeah.
He was a contender.
Also,
so
I don't
he
think
was like,
it's fair to say we thought it was a fluke because we both were talking about almost adding him to our lineup, right? Just because he played so well, but because he only proved himself in Modern. Anyways,
that's what I meant. Sorry. That's what I meant. Is that he was playing Modern, so we didn't want to pick him.
Okay, yeah, not a fluke, but like we weren't sure it would apply to. He was playing a very specific Modern deck, which was
exactly. Which I would say is kind of a fluke if you're talking about Magic.
Okay, that's fair.
General.
But I want to make it clear that we weren't saying it was a fluke that he won. It was just it was a very specific format that his skills might not transfer.
We think he's a very intelligent and amazing player. We were just worried that he only was good at Modern, and that maybe he wouldn't translate.
I see what
over
you're saying,
to other
but
formats.
that's my bad. I misinterpreted.
No.
As like he got lucky or something, but it's
no.
He
I'm very
won that
happy.
fairly, but it might not transfer.
He did. He did. Thank you. Yes, you are correct, and I appreciate you helping me clarify that I think he's fantastic because he also didn't he win the Arena Championship? We didn't even talk about it. It was while my baby was born. I remember looking at my phone and seeing a picture of Michael Benedetto Plummer being like, oh, he won the championship? And so I was like, oh, this guy is for real. This guy's really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive. I didn't really look it up before this because I just remember locking that in my brain. However, I believe my brain was a little broken at the time.
I was going to say,
I'm not 100% sure, but I picked him because I think this dude
trust you fully.
Is just continuing to be great. He's got a he's just on a tear. I think this is just going to be his he's just going to keep going. He's either going to do really well in day 2 or make it to Sunday. That's just what's going to happen. So I'm putting all my chips in for him. Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
No, I like that pick. I watching some of him play, I was just like, you can tell that it's not. I don't know. He played so well against such a wide array of decks that it was just like either he knows this deck inside and out and it's just that good, or far more likely he's just good at Magic kind of thing.
I think he's just good at Magic. I think that's what I've realized. He's just really good at Magic.
Yeah, I think the thing of just being a super pro one deck is becoming more and more a thing of the past, where it's just you just have to be good at Magic to win these things because there's so many matchups and you kind of have to.
I think it's some of that, but I also think it's the digital age is coming in and taking over. Where when you are a pro at Control, Gabriel Nassif, it's because you have those cards and you can play them all the time. You can go to all the tournaments and play that deck. You can't change your deck so easily. But now that we're in the digital age and we're playing on Arena, you can change your deck every single match.
Right. Yeah. And now Gab wins with
whatever.
Sacrifice decks if that's what his team thinks is best or whatever.
And so it's not near the acquisition of cards and stuff isn't as huge of a part of the game because you can practice and win actual championships with digital cards that you can switch between decks so easily. So
it's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Jean-Emmanuel, Javier, Reed, Ely, and then I chose Yu-Chen Liu.
Oh, okay. I thought about Yu-Chen, but I did not pick him.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I wanted anyways, I wanted a differentiator. My pick was he might pick Yu-Chen, but he was hot before the World Championship.
Exactly, and I think that's why I cooled on him a little bit after that.
He's going to be hungry to bounce back.
We'll see. But to be fair, last time I picked a bunch of players I thought were still hot and then they cooled off. So this could be the same thing.
Totally.
Because I picked Arne Huschenbett once again. He did really
Nice.
well in the World Championship.
Yeah, he was a good pick for you
Just
last time.
phenomenal. And I'm hoping he continues that hot streak. Keep an eye out. This guy. Hey. He's
a
been
great
great
player.
for a long time. He's really good.
And also a super like genuine and nice dude, at least
Of course.
outwardly. So
Yeah. And maybe not inwardly. Maybe he's horrible on the
who
inside.
knows?
But
I
he's,
can never. I don't
yeah.
know these days, man.
It's true.
I feel the need to qualify
Every once in a while.
because I'm like, he seems nice.
He
I
seems
don't-
really cool. I've never met him. I don't know. And all of a sudden, who knows what's going to happen? They could be a sleeper agent for whatever.
Totally.
You just don't know. Jeff, I'm going to quickly just snake myself
Yeah.
because my next pick, I think we both might have thought about this. And I think you might have him, so I'm just going to just like say it first.
Okay.
I picked Ken Yukihiro. He was the player of the
Honestly,
year.
I picked Ken.
Yeah, I thought you would pick Ken, and this was part of my defense by picking the same one, just to say, like, hey, I'm going to pick some of your players, and then also have better other players, is my idea. So,
I thought you might do that.
yeah.
But we're taking me out of alphabetical order. The rest of your players after Ken. Oh, okay.
No, I'm juking you a little bit.
You juked. So I'll go back a couple. I actually picked Sam Pardee.
Oh,
Yes.
that's nice.
He just feels like this guy that just always does well, and I've always kind of considered him as like, I think like second tier on the Channel Fireball team is the wrong way to explain it, but like he's he knows the top players on the channel and he practices with them, and I think it's just becoming he's the top player on the Channel Fireball team, and like other
He
people.
is.
You know,
Or just listening
and
to
so
him.
It's like shifting for me, where it's always like he's always the one that actually does the best on that team,
Yeah.
and like contributes to the testing. So I just have to adjust my expectations. So I was like, this time I'm just gonna fucking pick Sam because Sam is a great player and always does super well, and has
That's
access to a lot of great minds as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I you know what? Sam's a really great pick. I didn't even think about Sam, honestly. So that makes me
Party time, man.
absolutely. I have one more player to talk about, and this is the one I was most excited for. That's why I kind of left it for the end. That's why I jumped out of order. This player, fresh out of retirement, Andre Strosky, coming back to the Pro
I
Tour.
saw him and I almost clicked that. I was like, fucking Andre's in this tournament? Andre never loses. But I
This
didn't end
dude
up picking-
is scary. He's so brutal, and he's so intense about Magic. He had to retire because he was too intense.
Didn't he just retire and then come back and win an event? Like, hasn't he done that multiple times?
He did do that, and so then he retired, and then he played in another event. I don't think he won it, but he qualified for this one, and I feel like he's going to do pretty well.
And he like goes to play other games and just wins those tournaments too. He's just like,
Yeah, he's just an amazing card player.
he has an unbelievable knack for strategy games. So
Man. Anyway, I think he could be my ringer. I think Andre is going to be it this time. I'm excited.
all right, I have a bit of a ringer pick that I wasn't planning on leaving till the end, but this is my last player that I have to divulge. It's Luis Salvato.
I thought about Luis Salvato. Okay.
I saw that name and I was just like, I'm feeling it. Let's just see if
That's
Luis
exciting.
can pull it off. And,
I like it.
You know, he's a great player. He obviously has a lot of accomplishments, but I don't think he's, been dominating recently. So this is kind of just a faith pick, and I know he's incredible. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe he'll just apply himself in this event. Like at any point, he could be. He's one of those guys that could just win the Pro Tour at any point. And
Absolutely.
So let's get him in there for that
I
nice high
love
variance
that.
pick.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. So fun. I love fantasy. It's great. Like I said before, if you want to play this, keep up with our socials and everything. Join a Discord. We're going to be talking about who's winning and all that stuff. I'm going to be checking tomorrow night to see how many points I have. I want to talk about it in the actual Discord. I almost feel like we should have like an actual channel for it. I guess that's just the tournament channel. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah. Just throw it in the tournaments channel.
So we can talk about it there. But great teams. I'm glad we're doing more fantasy, man. I'm really happy about it.
It's fun.
Getting people involved. Hoping to get some more the next time. Jeff, let's go to last call. Let's wrap this whole thing up.
Let's do it.
All right. As always, we rate all of our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this is just a fun way to rate beers, because everyone's in different tiers at different times, so don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. You spit them on the ground, you pour them on your rug that your wife bought.
Hey, that beer wasn't bronze.
That was a good beer. That was a good beer.
Silver beers are just boring, like macro brews, or just bad.
Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't drink them again.
Platinum, super solid. You would totally drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptional. You like these a lot, and you show them off to your friends.
Mythic. These are the best of the best. These are the elves of the beer world.
Aren't they always? All right. Walkerville Brewery's Imperial Stout.
I would say it punched me in the mouth, but it didn't kick me in the mouth at first.
I thought you only wanted a punch. Now it needs to be a
I
kick.
might have to amend it, you know?
What do you want? It's got to be a donkey kick to the face.
Or like a Mike Tyson punch.
I agree. I know what you mean. It was... I think that this delivered what I kind of expected it to be. Totally. Which was...
Yeah.
This is an Imperial Stout from a brewery I don't really know. And it had the ABV that it had. And it tasted like kind of
that.
your... yeah, definitely feel it. It kind of tasted like it was your first Imperial Stout, right?
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's trying to like get you to do
Introduce
their IPA, and then maybe you try this one, and it's not going to be too hard on you. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
Or it's like this isn't an Imperial Stout for the ages. This isn't going to come back next year and you're looking for it. Like, we have some of those in our area. Like, Nickelbrook always has a really nice one.
Yeah.
And
or you live near Bellwoods used to do a ton of that.
Yeah, they don't do it nearly as much anymore. That just is not a thing.
Like sours now. But
they just make a bunch of sours and stuff. But I think that this is the kind of like, oh, you see this, it's a reasonable price, and then you taste it, and you're like, oh, Imperial Stout is a cool style I've never tried before. Now I'm interested in seeing what else there is out there, which I think this does a pretty good job of. It's like it feels like a lock in. It feels like a key into the beer world. It doesn't really feel like the end goal, right? Like.
Yeah. This will not be my like go-to for Imperial Stouts.
No.
It does hit the chocolate notes pretty well, though. So maybe that like ties with your theory of like, let's get people who are just have one idea of what beer can be, and let's change that a little bit.
Totally.
This was tasty. That being said, like, this was going to be a tough category to compete in for me.
It's so rough.
And maybe it's just because I haven't had one in a while too, but this one didn't give me quite the sock I wanted. It punched me in the mouth a little, but it wasn't enough, I think, for me. Like,
it wasn't a kick.
Yeah.
I think what it is that like when we were younger men, non-child having men, beers like this were mandatory And so anything like this would make the bar. And now that they're uninteresting in the sense that I need a really special one for it to be super worth it. And I would not waste another 9.5% night. Guys, we had to decide, we had to plan for this to be the right night.
We had this beer in our fridge, and we spoke
for
about
a while.
When was the right time to do it.
Exactly. So we decided today was the right time. Do I regret that? No, I don't regret that. This was a totally fine beer to drink.
It was enjoyable.
Yes. I would probably not want to waste another. If I do this again, it will be a different beer. And when I find one that I really like, that will be the beer that will be happening on that night. But I mean, this is the kind of thing where like you bring this to share with friends. You crack this open so that everybody gets to have a little taste, or it's more of a special type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is what I would want to introduce to people that are
totally.
That being said,
it was fine. I think the way you characterize it is perfect, right? It's like back in the day, trying a 9.5% beer had fewer consequences. Like it was less of a cost you're paying.
Of course, yeah.
Now it's like, ooh, man, I used my 9.5er on that. That was fine, but like 9.5ers have to be excellent.
Yes, to be like, oh, I'm going to do this again. And this beer, I will not do it again. I don't need to buy this ever again. Right. But I could point at it and say, like, this is totally fine to drink, you know?
Yeah. I think this is totally like a platinum in terms of quality, but for me, it's like a gold because I won't buy this again.
Yeah. I think it's platinum if you're looking for this type of style because it's, like, hitting that. But, like, yeah, I think it's gold as in I'm not going to buy it again. And I would not recommend it to anyone. But it has its place on the shelf.
Gold if you're old. Plat if you're a brat. I don't know.
Wow. I love it.
To offend everyone.
Wow, you just called all of our listeners. Just kidding. Our listeners are not. They're like our age, which is old. I think gold for this beer is totally fine. Like, it does live on a different spectrum because it's so tasty.
It was enjoyable, right? It's just it's more about the cost you pay for the
for the double
both the price, I guess, but also the mostly the
it's like
10% beer,
2 or 3 times as much the cost, or it's just I just can't.
It's no péché mortel, you know.
Yes. Wait, sorry, what?
Oh, we've done that one on the show. It's like my favorite beer. I feel like we must have.
Do I not remember? Oh, we must have. Anyway,
it's from Montreal.
It's got to be this Imperial Stout that is wiping my memory. But anyway.
Makes sense that you wouldn't remember nights when we drank that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of nights on the podcast I do not remember. Let's go to closing time. You can always reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Might also find us on Arena itself, username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach. I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky, all the different places. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Best places are Discord channel. Come chat about how cool this format is. If you've done a lot of drafts, honestly, I'd love to hear your opinion on the format because I've mostly been playing sealed. And if you love drafting, we also do a once a month Arena Peasant Cube draft, which means use up those common and uncommon wild cards, or maybe just have all the cards anyways. It's super fun. It's a really well curated cube. There's a lot of different strategies that are evolving. It's cool. We always do it the second Wednesday of the month. And if you want to get in on that, come join. The link to our Discord is in the show notes.
That's right. Also, join our Discord to play Pro Tour Fantasy Team Drafts. A lot of fun. You'll be able to get in on the Strixhaven one, and you can maybe for yourself claim the prize of being a champion of that and beat me and Jeff because, well,
we're pretty
not
tough
always
to beat.
Are we pretty tough to beat? I don't know.
Well, you are, from my perspective.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better because usually you're the hard one to beat. So, anyway, Andre Straussky, he's gonna win, and
I know that's a good pick.
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Anyway, folks, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. You can also find us on our YouTube channel and leave a comment. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate you. This has been the Arena Regulars,
reminding you that alchemy is coming out soon, and you want to make sure you're choosing the correct one.
Good day. All right, that's fine.